Hello. Good evening. My name is Kwabena. Welcome to today. I want to share with you people passion. People passion. When we are passionate about something, we get consumed. We get possessed with it, and we seem to be fully occupied mentally with our time, with our resources. It eats us. The most precious commodity on this earth, if you want to call it, is people. If you understand people, if you study people in whatever that we do on this earth, if you see the value for people, if you see the dignity that people deserve, the more we can work with people, the better the chance we have to be successful at anything that we do. You see people who are not able to do much or commit much to whatever they do with their lives. A lot of it has to do with the understanding of people, the value that they place on people, and the dignity that they think people deserve. The environment we were brought in affects the passion that we have for ourselves and the passion that we have for people. If you're passionate about people, you will do everything to make sure that people get the best. People express themselves the way that they were born to express themselves. If you're brought up in that kind of environment where people are not valued, where people are not respected, cherished, you carry the same attitude to yourself and you carry the same attitude to people. And so you see that this kind of environment, surprisingly, tries to control people by creating class, fear, barriers, just to make sure that people are stagnant or are positioned in stages in different kind of status in society. If we don't train ourselves to make people feel appreciated and dignified, our leadership will be affected. And yet leadership is what gets everything done in this life. And you cannot be a good leader if you do not have passion for people. You don't train yourself to make people feel diminished or smaller in your presence, to make people feel weak in your presence so that you can control people. One of the hardest things to get across to people from our culture, Africans, is to let people know that they have power to create their own lives, and that they can question things, and that they have the ability to say that I will work here, I will not work here, I will be part of this organization, I will not be part of this organization. It's a bit more difficult. Why? Because we have been trained to respect positions in society than the value of people. And that's why we have leadership misunderstood. We have leadership misunderstood because we think that leadership is just about position. So once the person is in that position, there's that aura, there's that fear, there's that that class around that position. And it gets into the people who look up to the person in that position, and the person in that position also creates some level of class distance between where he is and where the people are. And so we don't get to get the best out of people, because people see position and they see themselves as diminished because they are not in that position. And if you look across, it's in the culture, whether we want to be honest with it or we don't want to be honest with it. The company that you have for people is what separates you from any other person, no matter what they want to achieve in this life. If the pain of people gets your attention and you are ready to do everything to help them overcome the pain, or at least get the pain reduced, you have that passion for people. If the struggles of people get your attention, you have passion for people. If the pain of your workers get to you, your customers, your partners, if you appreciate people, if you celebrate people, no matter the class, you have passion for people. You know, a lot of us talk about passion in terms of passion for life, passion for our talent, passion for the things that we commit to do. But really, the most important passion is really passion for the people. Because the gift, the purpose is always linked to the people. It's always to help the people. It's always to lift the people. It's always to add value to the people. And so you cannot just have passion for the gift without having passion for the people. And if you are passionate for the people, you will do whatever that you have to do to make sure that the people live the life that they were meant to live. There's nothing like improving the lives of people. Now, one of the things that we have to get, one of the things that you can do as a person who wants to do something in this life is to make sure that the people who come around you feel valued, feel appreciated. There's so much that a lot of us get to go through when we went through when we were growing up. And so we have distorted view of our value. And very few people meet people in this life who see them the way the people have to be seen. Most people don't grow up, or they did not grow up being appreciated, being respected, being valued. That they express to other people. So that's why when people get to critical positions, because they did not get those things, they cannot give to the other people. If they did not get respect when they were growing up, when they did not get value when they were growing up, when they get to any position at all, they see people are just feed to get to their vision. If you're going to build anything, you're going to need people. And your craft, the skill that you have to bring the best in people, is what is going to decide how successful you will become, beyond just the money. Because at the end of it is the value that you create when you are gone, and that value is always in the people. So think of the business as a people business, and I think that every business is a people business. If you learn to understand people and the value that they have, if you develop that passion to make sure that people get the best out of life, people develop themselves when they come around you, you'll be able to be a very good leader. And business is about people. Your psyche in seeing people from where they are and what they deserve is what will separate you from any other leader that you meet around the world. And so if you happen to become a top CEO of any company, if the company is been around for a while, you will see that they have a little bit appreciation for people. And the very successful companies are companies that value people that much. And so is anybody who sets out to do anything. So commit to people development. Be passionate about, even if they are not your workers, even if they are not part of your team, whoever gets in contact with you, let them have the perception that they are valuable and they mean something. You should let people know that they have the will, the same power as you have to create the life that they have to create. you train people to commit to development. Let people understand that their greatest asset, or their greatest asset, is the mind that they have, the ability to reason. I think that is one of the things that we have to tell people so much on this continent, that they have the power to make the life that they have to live. If people get into organizations, almost all the time, or almost a lot of the time, you see that they lose that willpower to create their own destiny. They hang that, and then they look up to somebody. So for instance, people who join political parties, you see that I know this man. Therefore, they feel like because they know that man, that should create the life that they want. They hang the power of choice somewhere. People join religious organizations, it's the same. They lose that power of worth, and therefore a lot of their decisions they wait for somebody to make for them. Why? It's the culture. Because the culture is not passionate about people becoming the best. So if you want to become the best in this life, or become the best in what you do, one of the things that you have to know is that the other person is as of value as you. And so even if you are the leader of the business, the other person that comes to work with you, whether it's the cleaner or the finance manager or the marketing manager, the fact that they work with you does not mean that their value is different. You just have different positions with different duties. So let people have that. We should not grow people or groom people to be subservient when they are not slaves. People should be able to have the power to express themselves, sometimes respectfully, sometimes even disrespectfully, and you not being offended, because you understand the value of people. And you are not going to grow that passion when you yourself don't understand yourself. Because sometimes you as a human being can extend your power so much to control everybody and everything around you, said that unknowingly people around you may not even be able to question or ask you anything or feel relaxed around you. Why? Because you have created a class environment around you. You feel like if somebody comes to you, they should know that this is the class and this is the level they can get to. It's because they did not tell you. They did not tell you the value. And one of the most difficult things that you get people in leadership, people in some positions, is that they should not train people to lose the power of the choice that they have as individuals. And sometimes in the spirit of submission, in the spirit of trying to create a controlled environment, people lose their power to reason. You train yourself as a leader, as a person, to respect the right of people, or the right that people have to use their will. And don't raise the position that you have above the people. So much so that they probably have to be relegated to the level of animal for them to relate to you. People, they are positioned so much that people cannot come directly to them to talk to them without feeling intimidated or without feeling diminished. You can only bring the best in people when you let people use their right of choice to live the life without fear, to be able to even question you without feeling like they are going overboard. And that is the kind of environment that any productive company, any productive country, any productive culture creates, where the citizens feel valued. They don't feel like they are slaves. They don't feel like they are animals. If you can create that environment, even at your personal level, if you have that kind of skill or attitude towards people, anybody who comes around you will develop. Because when they come around you, they'll feel like they are also human beings. They also worth something. The structures and the barriers that people place in terms of controlling people is because of fear. fear of disrespectfulness, fear of competition. But you don't need to be afraid of anything, because you did not even create your life. Somebody else gave you the life that you are living, and that same person gave the other person the life that they are living. Yes, when people were not have not been trained in an environment where they are let to be human, when they come to another environment where you're trying to bring the best out of them, they will react. They will feel suspicious. They'll be suspicious of your actions. But with time, they will see the value, and that is the value that we have to create on this continent for people, to let people. Sometimes when they bring people from some other culture here, you see how they are able to question. They're able to question, and nobody gets offended. But when you raise a child here and he questions, then there's an offense. Even sometimes those of us who are grown up here, when you question some of the elders, you sometimes you're not even being disrespectful, but you see that they still tag you as why are you saying the things that you're saying. But if you were brought up in another culture and you question them, they have no qualm at all. They have no problem with another person from another culture, usually in the West, questioning them, their intentions. And that has created this feel of unworthiness in a lot of people. So when the same person gets a position, they usually use the position to abuse the people under them. Why? Because nobody taught them about the value of the people. And so they are not passionate about the people becoming better. But we can repair that. We can repair that from the family, we can repair that from the culture, we can repair that from the company, in the country. We can repair that. Where consciously, at the individual level, you let people express themselves. You talk to people with good words. You make people appreciated. You encourage people to go with their choices. You can only give people some information, but the right of choice, you should leave them to make their choice. And sometimes in the company, you want them to do the right thing, all right, but you train them and you leave the process for them to make and be responsible for the decisions that come or the outcomes that come out of their decisions. That is how you build up people's value, and that comes out of your passion to see people develop and become better. It's not a cultural thing. Every human being has the right to live the life that they want to live, and they don't have to agree with you with everything that you do. And so once you want to use your belief system to control people, once you want to use your structure to control people, you set up a business and you are the CEO, you are the owner, and you shout at the people because you are the owner. You made them feel like they are nothing. It means that you were not brought up to see the value for people. You have no passion to develop people. And you cannot be a good leader when you have no passion to let people live the life that they want to live, to express the ability to make choice. So you train your children as well to start to make little choices in the house, and to build their self-esteem and to build the power for them to say yes or to say no. And if you are building institutions, the same, because people are the best asset that you have. Yet you can train them in a way that they will never use the asset that they have as well, because they live in a controlled environment where they cannot even apply their gift without looking back or without being afraid. You can make a group of people slaves without knowing, when you create a lot of barriers, and so you should allow people to feel valued, and to use their head, and to use the gift that they have, and to question, and to even disagree with you, to come and reason with you. You can bring something and ask the people, what do you think? That's how you develop people. But a lot of us are coming from where we only give orders and we don't get input from anybody, especially the people that we think are not in our class, the people that we think we are higher than. That's why we have pretense around, because people don't feel like they are in that category to question you anything. And that thing, I think, is coming from the culture that we have created. The culture where we only regard people based on solution, based on position, and based on maybe the amount of money or the success that they have. We classify people that way. So when you see the other person that you think you're more successful than, you don't think that that person has any right to even give you question you. So when you are going to the bank and the security questions you, he may not even be disrespectful, but you see, you get agitated. Why you ask, do you know me? Do you know who I am? When you hear people use those words, it means they have no passion, value for people's life. They were not trained that way, and so they cannot be very good leaders. They cannot be. And so if you want to be the best at what you do, develop your passion for people. And the passion for people is contingent on knowing that the people have the right to say yes and to say no. And you should groom people around you if you are the organizational head, or even at your personal level. Groom yourself to be able to say that this one I go with it, this one I don't go with it, without feeling bad. Because the culture has directed us one way, and that one way is just be submissive. And so that submission has made us to sit on the talent and the contributions that we can make to the society. And so people only wait to make a contribution when they get to the position. So if they are not in the position, they don't think that their thoughts or their ideas matter, because that is how we have created the culture. And so whatever he has, he can see you mess up, but because we have groomed them not to be human, so to say, they cannot ask you any question without you feeling like, why are you asking me any question? You know, so a typical guy who has grown up in this culture, in this Ghanaian culture or in this African culture, feel irritated for any, whether a child, even some people, a lot of them have problem with women asking questions. And so you have to consciously develop yourself to allow the woman to ask you a question, or to allow the child to ask you a question, or to allow the one that you think you are higher than to ask you a question, and not feeling disturbed and not feeling disrespected, because that subconsciously, that's the culture that we have come up, you have come through, where once you think that you are the boss, you are the boss. Nobody can ask you any question. Nobody can even create any joke around you. It's always a serious business, and that hinders people's growth, people's ability to grow quickly and develop and take over when you are even not there. So you can build great institutions, great companies, great countries when you have value for people, when you have passion for people, when people fully live as humans with dignity and have the power to reason and to ask questions and to say no or to say yes. If you don't have that kind of tendency, you have to work on it, because you can never be a great leader until you know the value of people. And if you know the value of people, you know that they have the same right to life as you have the same right to life. They may be poor, but they have the same right. They may be your assistant, but they have the same right. Sometimes it's amazing where you see a lot of these top institutions, especially government institutions, where the God talks and nobody else talks. Sometimes you go to the government office and you're asking for some document, and you cannot even question anything. They give you something, they just expect you to just go by it, no question. You ask question, they get offended. Why? Because they were not brought up to ask questions themselves. They were brought up to just follow the orders. Maybe like the military, so to say. But I don't think it helps any community, any country at all, especially in our open democracy kind of environment. People should be able to question things, and not you being feeling offended or feeling like you are the top, so nobody should ask you anything. But if you are not groomed with it, if you are not trained with it, you will see when people are not even being disrespectful, you will call it disrespectfulness, because you were not taught to allow people to be human, to be themselves. So my name is Kwabena. I am talking about people passion. The things that we are passionate about, we go every length to protect it. We get obsessed with it, we get passionate about it, we put a lot of resources in it, we develop that thing, we let that thing grow. everything that you have passion for, you see that your attention is there. And my point is that direct that passion on people, because people are the number one asset that when you develop, you are develop everything. And so if a country is passionate about their people, you see that they will put a lot of their resources to develop the people. And that's why countries become better. They develop the fiscal environment, they develop the minds of the people, they develop the self-esteem of the people, they develop the perception of the people about themselves. You know, they don't groom them to feel inferior. And this is consciously done. They train the people. If the country is passionate about it, you train the people. If the company is passionate about people, you build a culture where the people feel like they have choice. They don't live in fear and they don't live in hypocrisy. They don't live, when they see you, they stand up. When you are gone, they are insulting you. Because people, you cannot control people. You can always inspire people to live the best and to get the best of resource. But if you use fear, when they see you, they will act. But once they get the freedom to go, they will never respect you. You know, so the people passion, you want to put every resource that you have to develop the people, to make them live to the fullest of their ability, to the fullest of their capacity. And you cannot do that when you have no respect for people, when you have no passion for the well-being of people. So one of the best things that we can put in everybody in this country, in Ghana, in Africa especially, is the value, the passion that we should have to preserve lives, to make sure that people get the best of everything, especially our own people. And it's something that we have to put in the children, to see the value for people and treat people equally. It's not just about the man is old, so that hypocritical respect that we have for the elderly, and then the elderly does not expect you to have that kind of respect back. You know, so you want the child to respect you, but you don't respect that child back. You want the woman to respect you, but you don't show that respect to the woman. You know, why? What is the problem? Is it because she was born a woman, or is it because she's a child you are older than? That is not the reason. The reason is that you were not, that thing was not put in your value system. Nobody put that in you. You were only made to respect positions, but not people. So you respect the position, you respect the leadership, you respect, but not the people there. And so people passion is one of the best ways to become a very good leader. When you are passionate about the well-being of the people, you are passionate about developing the ability of the people, you are passionate about letting the people develop themselves so that they can say yes, they can say no, helping them to use their mind to ask questions on things that don't work, the things that work, and expecting to be answered. Grooming an environment or developing an environment where people feel valued. People can ask, why is this here, without getting angry. You know, one of the things that people get angry, especially the people who feel like they are down, is because they've been trampled so much upon. You know, so sometimes when you go somewhere, another person can easily assume that because somebody of your stature came and did not show them respect, once you show up, it means that you are not going to show them respect. So they meet you with anger. They meet you ready because they know that you're going to disrespect them. And you may not be that kind of person at all. But a lot of them have been so much disrespected and abused because of the social stature. You know why when they say that the minister is coming to the workplace, they all sit up to inspect them? They sit up. Oh, the president is coming to the the ministry. You see the hypocrisy. They paint the place, they make everywhere nice. Oh, the boss is coming. They all sit up. That is a wrong thing. That is a wrong thing. I'm not saying that they should not show respect for the position, no. But I'm saying that the base of it is that humans must be respected and must be held in dignity. And therefore, it's not because the man is coming, that's why you're cleaning the place. But people are there, so the place should be clean. People are there, so the place should be organized. Human beings are there, so the place should be in dignity. You know, so it's a perception, because there is some bit of hypocrisy as to the value that we have for people. And so my name is Kwabena. I'm saying that the environment that you were brought in or you were born in affected the passion that you have for yourself and the passion that you have for people. You know, and so your understanding of the value for people, the reason for people, where you should place people, is weakened by where you were grown, where you were trained, or where you were brought up. So where you were brought up, if you are driving and you see somebody crossing and you have to stop for that person to cross, you will stop. But if you think that the person who is crossing, who is probably halfway through the road, and you are the one coming with the car, that person should go back so that you can cross before they go, you see the value that you have. We place more value on the car than on the people. So subconsciously, there's a lot of things that we place a lot of value on the things, on the privilege, on the materials, than on the people. Yet it should be the other way around, because the only thing that develops the whole environment is the people and the mind and the expression, the esteem that they have, the confidence that we have put in them. And you cannot develop the confidence of the people if you treat them anyhow, without any respect and dignity. The people who have confidence to face life and face issues and question authorities are people who have been brought up in an environment that has built the confidence that they have, or that built the confidence that they have. And so we just have to look at the environment that we were brought up in and reassess the value that we place on people and the passion that we have. It's not just feeling some bit of sympathy for the one who is disadvantaged. Not that. It's not that, even though it could be part of it. It's the fact that you are re-engineering your mind, yourself, to see that everywhere you are, the people deserve the best. And people have the right to be fully human as you are. And so your mate in the house is as human as your child or even as yourself. So the maid cannot ask you a question, madam, please, this, and you are shouting, hey, sit down, myself, you know. And the way people treat other people's children, you can see that they have no value for themselves. That's why they extend it to the other one. And one of the things is that if you have passion for people and you have value for people, you respect their opinions as well. You respect their thought. You respect their choices. You may not agree with them, but you respect them. Because until you have given the people different kind of information, you cannot disagree with their choices. And you cannot even force them to choose. And so you may not agree with the things that they have, with their decisions, but because they have the right to choose, you agree with it. You know, so that is something that I think that we should have. The passion to make sure that people live the life that they are. And so if you have any organization, if you are the manager of any place, you allow people to you know, not because they flout the laws and the regulations, no, just that some things are within people's right that they have to be trained to exercise, you know. So sometimes you see elderly man and they talk to that man like they are nothing, just because he's the security in the organization. It's amazing. And if you have that, then you're not going to be a very good leader, because you miss it right away. If you can talk to another human being just because he's the security or he's the maid or he's the cleaner, and you cannot lift that cleaner up, you're not a good leader. So don't train yourself to make people feel diminished or smaller in your presence. The best skill that you can get is to let people feel like they matter when they meet you. And people can refer to you as that, until I met this man or until I met this woman, I saw myself as nothing. And now I'm somebody. But my major concern is for it to even spread in the culture, where we show respect to people because they're people and they deserve the best, and that they have the right to make choices and use the brain that God gave them, and that when they are somewhere they will be able to ask questions without even feeling angry or feeling bitter. They can present their case because that is what they are used to, where they can question independent of their position in the company, independent of their position in the country. Everybody is allowed to say something. and feel valued. And that's the passion that I think we should develop. So the company's vision must be linked to that. Your personal vision must be linked to that. Your love for people and how much you're committed to that. The pain that you feel for people. Your understanding of the struggles of people. The customer that you have. You know, you can develop very good business concept or business model just because you can feel for the customer. If you have proper understanding, you have passion for people, because customers are people, you can easily solve a lot of things just because you have value for the customer. You have value for the worker. You have value for your partners, and you celebrate people. If you can work on that alone, if you're a professor and you see the value of your students, you train them to come out with questions and ask you, and sometimes you can even tell them, I don't know, so go and find it yourself. And you are not intimidated that you are telling the student that you don't know, and go and bring the answers. If you're a teacher, if you can put that in your children, in the kids that you teach, that is how you build them. The best teachers that we remember are the teachers who saw the good things in us, not the ones who intimidated us. The best people that we always remember are the people who saw the value in us and who gave us opportunities, who talked to the strength in us. And that is a skill that great leaders have. And so if you're going to build anything, that's a major skill. Major skill, the value for the people. If you place that right, you can get a lot of things right. A lot of things right. So use your resources to lift people up, because that is your passion. To make sure that people live the dignity that they deserve. People express themselves as full human beings. They don't have to be subservient just because of your position. And they don't have to shiver when they are talking to you. They don't have to stay the same when you have been with them for 20 years, for 10 years. They don't have to. And you should be able to be comfortable that they want to leave you and go to another place, because they have that choice to go and create the life that they want, and you not being worried that they are going, because they have that power. They have the same choice as you. Even if you have put a lot of things in them, they have that choice. That's why I'm always amazed when they say that women are weak, and yet they have the power to cause divorce. I'm always amazed a bit, because if they are not equal, how can they create the divorce? So maybe I don't understand it fully, but I think that if they can say no, it means that they have power. They are also human beings, fully. And so you condition yourself. Your boss is a woman, and you don't give her the respect that she deserves because you think she's a woman. And yet when you see a man, you are there to, give the full respect. It means that there's something wrong with your thought process. There's something wrong with the value that you place on people. So there's nothing like improving the lives of people on your own and improving the lives of the people around you. So in business, think of that. What do you do to improve the situation of people? And the product that you're developing, the services that you're developing, the reason why you're upgrading the services and the product all the time is that you believe that people deserve better or deserve the best. Because all the products that you're making, the end result is that they will improve lives. If they are killing lives, the government will come for you. They will make you stop. So anything that you're improving, you're updating, is because we believe that they are enhancing lives. That's why you are doing. So why are you not learning the value of this target that whatever you are developing is going to improve? So your number one gift to be the best at anything is trying to understand people, seeing their value, being passionate about them, making sure that those around you or those in your jurisdiction have the power to express themselves, and you're not getting offended. And you see, you treat them with respect, you let them feel appreciated. Can you do it for everybody 100%? I think you can do for everybody. As to how they receive it, that's up to them, but you can do it from where you are, and you treat them with dignity. You don't go around trying to cheat and bully and maltreat the vulnerable. That's a weak approach to life. It will always come back to hurt you and to hurt whatever you're doing. So passion. Whatever you're passionate about, you don't destroy. we preserve. So if you're passionate about people, you will not disturb, you will not destroy. So think of the words that you use, train yourself to use the right words, because it will hurt people and it will destroy them even faster than the physical weapons that you can use, especially women and children, you know. So the business is about people, so develop that passion, constant. One of the things that you can commit to all your life is you developing that passion to develop people all the time, making sure that when people come to you, you share with them unreservedly. Would they deny you? Would they cheat on you? Would they lie to you? Yes, but it doesn't have to come from you. It doesn't have to come from you. If they know better, they will do better. So you commit to people development. Commit to that. Give them that respect. And I so wish that our culture will improve in this regard, where we don't regard people based on position, but regard people based on the fact that they are humans and they deserve the best of life, the best of respect, the best of treatment, the best of everything. And that is what will make the man who is cleaning the toilet not feel like he's not valued. That's why people can do anything without feeling undervalued, because the culture values people, not the position. But you can see the hypocrisy around positions. If I'm lying, go to any place that they say that the top man is coming. You know, so commit to training and see the value in people and see their difference and see their relevance. You know, and be interested in what is important to people. This is how you get them interested in anything that you're doing. And it makes them feel important as well. When you are interested in what is important to people. Whatever is important to people, if they are important to you, you can always get their attention. So be passionate about them. And if you're passionate about something, whatever grows that thing, you're also interested in that which grows that thing. So let people use one of their greatest assets, which is the ability to use their mind and the ability to reason. Help people to use their choice, their willpower, to say yes, to say no, to say this is where I'm going, this is not where I'm going. And don't lose the power. Don't let them lose the power to reason. You are not God. The only person who can control everybody is God. All of us cannot control everybody. Nobody can play God. You can, as a matter of fact, reduce the stress of your life when you stop to control people. When you understand that you are just one individual and you can do the best that you can, and people have the choice to live the life that they have. And so when you hear the other person maligning you or instigating something against you or leaving you, it will not disturb you, because they have that right. If you can understand that, a lot of your pain will go down, because people have right as well. The only person who can control everybody is God. There is no human who can get everybody on their side. Never. And it's never going to happen. So you don't play that God. You can only express your opinion just as the other person is expressing their opinion. And that's why people live with the consequences of their choices. You know. So if I make the wrong choice, I live with the results of it. You are not the one to be responsible for the results. You know, it may affect you, but the bulk of the pain, I am responsible. And that's why I have to make the choice myself. You know, the best you can do is to help me to train myself, so that train my decision-making ability, my choice-making ability, so that I can make the choice myself and feel like human and be responsible for everything that comes along with it. You know, so you don't try to control everybody just because you're in a position and they are under you. You are playing God. It will destroy you. And that's not the best way to get the best out of people. You get the best out of people when they are inspired to live full human, to live as full humans, you know, to live as full humans. And that's how you get to cut hypocrisy, because people can express their opinion without being afraid of you. So respect people's right to use the power of their will to choose the life that they want to live. That is one of the major things that you have to get as a human. Sometimes even your children, because they are also as human as you, you know. At a point, they also have to live their life and create their own lineage. So you cannot control them. Some people's children are 25 years and they are still controlling them. It doesn't make sense, because your parent did not control you up to this point. So you have to respect that. Yes, you may have given birth to them, but you didn't create them. You didn't create them. You just were used as conduit. So your children must have the power, and that's how you train them. You train them to get the choice to make the good decisions that they have to make with their lives. Because at a point, whatever it be the case, at a point they will leave you anyway and go and live their life. So you don't have to continue to make all the choices for them and expect them to live, grow, and believe in themselves. It will not happen. The earlier you leave them to guide them to make the choices and live the consequences and guide them to where they can make the right choices, the better. So if you are the one that is 30 years and you are still the one responsible for all the choices, you are playing God. People are people, they also have their right. So don't raise your position above the people so much that you relegate them to the level of animals in the name of you having them to be submissive. So you will never get the best from people that way. Don't be so much over conscious, over concerned of you getting people to submit and respect and those things. When they are grown, they will respect and they will submit without feeling any fear or intimidation. But you don't demand that. You train that. It's a result of training. And even that, when they say no, you can force them to say yes. So yet, if you were brought up in that African culture, your humanity has been taken away from you, because the family tried to make you submissive, the school tried to make you submissive, the religious organizations will make you feel submissive. Sometimes they take every power that you have to make any choice of your life out from you. And sometimes the government can make you submissive so much that you have no power to make any choice at all. So you can only develop a people beyond themselves when you let them use their right to choose the life that they want without any fear. And that is also linked to your passion for them, because you want the best out of them. And what is a human being without the right of choice? Without the right of choice. So repair that. If you didn't have that in your background, repair that through the family. Try to let people around you breed. Try to let your team breed. Appreciate their difference, appreciate the things that they bring on board, and encourage them to exercise their right to say no, yes, and critique and ask questions and feel like they are also full humans as you are. And you can only make slaves to say no, but humans are not slaves. If they have the right to go out and come in, they are not slaves. So let them use their mind and live with the consequences of their choices. And you can build great institutions, great companies, great countries where human beings can express themselves fully without being intimidated, and live in dignity. And so when the policeman stops the one on the street, you are not there just to use the state institution to intimidate them. They should be able to ask you a question, and for you to just say, yes, this is why I'm doing this, or this is why I'm not doing that. You can go to the class teacher and ask him a question without you feeling intimidated. You can go to the nurse. Sometimes if you go to the hospital, you'll be amazed how they don't expect you to ask anything at all, express any choice at all, express any will at all, just what they tell you to do. Even the hospitals, the doctors, sometimes they don't even give you a new right to say no or to say yes at all. They may not even explain anything to you because they are the only experts. And you cannot create that environment where you are the only expert. Everybody has the right. If it's going to affect them, they have the right to ask you a question. So you are not the only expert. Everybody, so far as it's going to affect them, if the person is coming for the job, it's going to affect them. You should give them the right to ask questions and say, maybe I will take the job or I won't take the job. And they may not be stubborn because it's their lives. It's their life. So people should be able to tell you something. And you don't see yourself as the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-controlling, and everybody has to submit to you for everything to work. If you're the father in the house, that's not how you behave. You engage them, you ask them questions, and they ask you questions as well, and you train them. That's how you build your children. It's not the school or the course that is going to build the children. It's the esteem. How you tell them to express their power to choose and believe in themselves. And if you don't engage them that way, they will never have that choice to believe in themselves. So I've talked about people passion, being passionate about people, and knowing their value, knowing what they bring on board, knowing what people deserve. Any culture that is built on that will flourish, because then people feel like they're humans. Any culture that tries to sit on people, that tries to dominate people, that tries to create people, fear in people with whatever structure that they have, that culture is always stagnant. Look around, you will see, especially in an open culture, in a democratic era, any culture which does that is always backward and traditional, and they don't get the best out of people because everybody is gifted differently. So if you try to create that class culture, you hinder growth and you hinder productivity, you hinder creative abilities of people, So let people live the life that they want. After all, the God who created them has allowed them to live the life that they want. So don't control people so much. Control the system, leave the people to make the choices. So build the system, but build the system, yes, control the system, but not the people. The people, you lead them, and you lead them with inspiration, with training, with information, and they make the choices that they have to make themselves. So my name is Kwabena. I have shared with you people passion, and I think it's one of the best things that you can develop, where you are just passionate about getting the best for people and letting people be responsible and express themselves and feel like they are full human beings in any environment. And if you can do that whichever position that you are, and if you can even put that in your institution, in your house, it will be the best way. It will be the best way. Where you engage the people, you ask them questions. And I think one of the best things that our president has is that one, where he is not intimidated. You ask you a question, you ask him a question. That is somebody who has developed that skill, and that's why I think he's a great leader. Because you cannot be a great leader when you do not see the relevance and the importance and the expertise of others and the choice that they have. And so you there as one person, and they are also there as people, and you meet and you deliberate, you ask questions, and you are not the only boss. Everybody can ask you in their own power. Yes, sometimes even disrespectfully, and you can still take it. And that's something that any person with ego, very big ego, will find it difficult to take. Very difficult to take. Very difficult to take, because you were not grown, you were not brought up with people asking you questions and expecting answers from you. So you easily get offended, angry. So you work on that. Look at your position, your disposition. If you're that kind of person, you work on that. You work on that. You work on that. Everybody at all can ask you questions without you feeling, no matter your position, without you feeling intimidated. And people have the right to come to you directly. Don't create that kind of class around yourself so much that people don't even you have a business and you think that very few people can get to you. That's a danger. Everybody, you go to the business, you talk to humans, you engage them. Everybody, sometimes you create jokes because they are all humans and they deserve the same thing that you think you deserve. And that is how you build a strong culture of any company or of any country. So if you don't understand the people factor, if you're not passionate about people, I wonder what you're passionate about, because the people who are going to move everything that you are building. The asset is the people. The treasure is the people. It's not in the land, it's in the people. And so if you are not passionate about the people, you can never get to the treasure. Never. So look at all developed countries. Look at how they have tried to let the people live in dignity. Look at how they have tried to let the people express themselves. Look at how they have tried to create equality for the people. Anywhere that they create a group of people and not give them that equality, you see that those people will struggle until they extend the same passion, the same treatment, the same equality to those people. They will never be lifted up. And so that's why when during the time of, say, the slavery or the class society in some of these countries, or the apartheid, we saw that those who were marginalized, who were subjugated, they were the people who were never growing. They were not prosperous, because the moment you create that class, you create confusion. There's no growth and development. When you try to marginalize people, to sit on people, to let people be at the bottom. So the best way to bring development is to make sure that you are lifting the best in people, and you get the best out of people by letting them live to their full potential without feeling inferior or intimidated. no matter who you are and no matter where your positions are. You always see great leaders by how they treat people. They're so passionate. Leadership is just people. That's it. So if you understand people, you can be a great leader, no doubt, because you see the value for people. And the moment you see the value for people and you're passionate about them, all kind of ideas will come for you to improve them. And same in the business. If you're passionate about the well-being of the people, you always get new ideas to create the best for the people. So if you're not, and it's just about you, it's a weakness. If it's just about you and you're creating that barrier and people cannot get to you, people cannot smile with you, people cannot laugh with you, and you only knowing you know everything, you don't have what it takes to become a great leader. So you should never be there. So you only demand that they respect you because you are in that position. No, they have to respect you because you're also a human being, just as they are. Because if they are nothing, then why should their respect mean anything to you? If they are nothing, if you don't respect them, well, then why should their respect mean something to you? So it is hypocritical for you to think that you deserve their respect, but they are nothing. So the fact that when their respect means a lot to you, means that they are as of the same quality as you. Just a matter of difference in positions. So you see, even the president, when the cleaner is giving him fans, you see how appreciative they are. You see how they want to see people come to meet them. Now, if they believe that the people are nothing, what do they need the number for? So it's just a lie for you to believe that the fact that the person does not have the same kind of social status as you are, it means they don't have anything. That's a lie. You know within you that every human is a human being. Every person is full human being just as you are. And they deserve the same kind of treatment as you deserve. The same kind of dignity, the same kind of honesty, the same kind of respect, the same kind of appreciation as you deserve. So if you don't have that, then you can never be a good leader. So all great leaders who have been able to develop anything, whether it's a business, whether it's a country, even at the personal level, they are people who are passionate about people. They're passionate. So passion is not just about being passionate about your business. It's not just being passionate about money, being passionate about your goal, your project. But the best form of passion, I believe, is the people passion. Because once you're passionate about the people, every other thing will fall in place because you treat them the way they have to be treated. And that's where you get the best of productivity from people. So if you miss that, you cannot be a good leader. And without leadership, nothing is created. And the best form, all these studies that are going on, all these things that people are studying, it's just to understand people, that's all. Everything that they are trying to study, you pick whichever area that they are trying to study, because the end user is the people. Even those who are going to the mass, when they go to the mass and they create whatever is there, it's not people who are going to live there. It's people. So once you have that value for people, you are way ahead of a lot of people. The dignity. You allow people to make the choice, even if they have your family, their children. They are humans, fully as you are. And the only one who can control everybody is God. All of us can only affect and inspire and encourage people and leave them to make the choices that they have to make. And that's why we should not create slaves out of the institutions that we are building, out of the families that we are building, out of the culture that we are building. Because the more you create that, the more you are creating danger for everybody. And so thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for listening and for watching. Thank you very much. So see you some other time. Hey, number, thank you. Bennis, thank you very much for watching. And whoever watched, thank you very much.